Trump came on your show to talk about the Durham Report, which is being almost universally ignored. It's a true travesty that it's being ignored, and it's genuinely infuriating. You know, to me, as a newswoman, who I openly admit I'm more right-leaning and more likely to support any Republican than I am Joe Biden, I still can cover Trump fairly. I can see what his flaws are. I can do it. But this is absolutely disgusting. And I have to say, I know Trump's prone to rhetoric, but that word coup is applicable. It actually is applicable.
He didn't say violent coup. Yeah, he said coup, which is an unauthorized, illegal, illicit overthrow of a governing body. How does that not apply? It tautologically applies. I mean, again, the lefties, I disregard what they did. You know, they threw that out. I saw media, left-wing organization go after him for that. But, you know, you say it from a journalist perspective, and I believe you, that this does matter to you. I absolutely believe you. But think about it from my perspective for a moment. So, you know, you're a young Secret Service agent, right, on the Obama detail, whose, daughter's crying at the door at, 9 years old because you're on your 300th trip, whatever, in the last 2 years. You haven't been home in weeks. And you have to hide the suitcase in the garage so your daughter doesn't see the cab and the suitcase going out. And you've done that for a Democrat president, not only a Democrat president, but a Democrat president you're absolutely convinced really hates the constitutional republic as it's constructed. But not only do you do your job, you do it well because it matters. And I swore an oath, and we're not some third world republic. And then as the thing about the Secret Service is we have two jobs. We're, protection agents, but we're also federal investigators. I have never once in my life went to my boss and said, hey, we should or shouldn't arrest this guy because he's a Democrat or a Republican. So we're doing all this. And then I'm reading this report. And I think the most damning piece of the report, Margot Cleveland wrote about this in the Federalist the other day. Margot Cleveland wrote, the most damning part is the fact that Durham says, we don't need new rules. We don't need new rules. We need the FBI to act with integrity. That's a short, think about what he's saying there. You have the most powerful federal law enforcement body practically anywhere in the world with a commission book, a badge, and a gun to take your life, your freedom, and your property. And a special prosecutor with no dog in the fight, who no one's questioned his bona fides before, is saying they've got an integrity problem? What are we, North Korea? Like, that is unbelievable that he put that in the report. He must really believe that. So, I'm a solutions-oriented guy. That's why I asked the president that question. Because, Megyn, you use logic and reason in journalism. I use it in law enforcement and in content production space now. If you're telling me integrity is an issue, integrity comes from people or the lack thereof. You're telling me you have a personnel HR problem, correct? Which means you correct it by getting rid of the human resources and replacing them with other humans. So that's why I asked him that, because you're never going to fix that problem. I mean, I'll tell you, just quick story I told my radio show today. Here's why rules don't matter, okay? You're a lawyer. You'll understand this better than anyone. When I first got in the Secret Service in training, we were told when you're doing a site protection thing, there's a protest zone. The protesters got to stay in that zone. Megyn, this went on for decades. We trained agents to do this. Finally, some very smart citizens said, wait, just because I got a paper sign, why can't I walk over there? No, that's America. Not the protest zone. Yeah, but he can. And he sued. And the judge was like, what are you guys, crazy? There's no protest. America's a protest zone. And we lost. To the Secret Service's credit, the next day, an email went out to the entire service. There will be absolutely no protest zones. They sent supervisors out to be sure, because they had integrity. And they said, we screwed up. I don't know why we were teaching this. It was just ridiculous. And they fixed it. But that's what good people do. You're telling me the FBI needed to be told, hey, we got an allegation from Russia about a pee-pee tape or something. Has anyone seen it? No. Does anyone have a hotel receipt? Nope. Do we have a witness? No. And the response was, let's spy on the president and the campaign. And that's reasonable? And you're telling me a new rule. You need a rule for that. Just to be clear, the rule is what? If you can't produce the actual pee-pee tape, you needed a rule for that? You got to clean out the FBI. And I'm glad the president, at least on the show, and I have no reason to disbelieve him, said he was going to. Were you at Fox with the Comey firing? I'm not sure a timeline was.
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Megyn,
I still believed in Comey.
Story.
I still, when he fired him, I still believed in the whole, Comey, Mueller, brothership. These are noble public servants. I was still in the Fox FBI is good frame of mind. You remember
I'm not laughing
when we
at
used to
you.
be in
I'm
that?
just like,
No.
yeah,
I
know.
remember being like, I think he's a good man, but I had questions about how he was handling Trump. I could see he was irregular and he seemed like an egomaniac, but I thought, no, he's nobly served the country, defer to him. Wrong.
Yeah, well, that's very noble of you to say that. Most people just try to cover up their stuff. I don't. I screwed up a lot of things. I say on the show all the time, I'm a sinner, man. I am. I'm like Charles Barkley back in the right guard commercial or whatever. Like, I'm not your. Don't look to me for some moral code, man. You'll see me out in the Stewart Sandbar with tequila on Saturday, like partying with the best. I'm not your moral guide. I'm not. I tore it up at the Morgan Wallen concert last week. I'm not your, but I do believe in this country and I love this place. And I admit when I make mistakes. And yeah, I'm going to be straight with you. That was a huge mistake. I mean, I had the same feeling about Mueller. I'm like, all right, if they're going to appoint someone, former Marine, like nobody really thought Mueller was a bad guy. But Megyn, I'm really sorry. The guy was a bad guy with all due respect to his service.
He was.
He knew from the start that they had no evidence. Durham's made that crystal clear. Read the report. There was not any evidence in their holding. Any.
And
not
they knew
a little bit. There was and he did it anyway. And he just dragged the country through 3 years of hell. And I don't believe history is going to be kind to Mueller. I know liberals write the history books, but you know what? Here's the thing about that. Liberals write the history books in New York. I'm a New Yorker. And after a while, even the liberals had to admit that David Dinkins was an awful mayor. 3,000 people were being killed a year in the crack wars. They eventually had to come around and go, all right, Giuliani might have been crazy, but he was better than that guy. I don't think history is going to be kind to Mueller, Comey, or Brennan.
Comey's about to go out on another book tour, too, so we're going to have to see a whole other round of that nonsense, although it could be fun to cover it, in our jobs. I know many of you make money freelancing or running a solo small business. You probably love the flexibility and control, but hate the crushing busy work. You could hire a bunch of different people, like a CPA, a bookkeeper, even an attorney, and end up paying thousands of dollars a month. Or you could use Collective. Collective is an all-in-one financial solution for freelancers, contractors, and self-employed entrepreneurs. Collective handles all of your corporate formation and compliance paperwork, your taxes, your bookkeeping, your accounting, even your payroll. If you've already made money this year, but you don't have an S-Corp election, right now through June 30th, Collective can save you thousands on taxes in 2023 because they're able to backdate your S-Corp election to January 1st. In fact, Collective members save on average $10,000 per year on taxes. Act before June 30th to save potentially thousands of dollars in 2023 taxes. Go to collective.com to save on taxes this year and have someone who knows what they're doing handle your setup, accounting, bookkeeping, and taxes, even your personal taxes. Collective.com and tell them Megyn Kelly sent me. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.